Hi, I'm Miss Noel and I'm with Palm Beach County 4-H. Today we're going to do an introduction to science inquiry using some clucking chickens. This is a really fun activity that we're going to do with some basic materials that you have. Really simple, lots of fun, introduces you to scientific variables. So what are variables? Variables are different things that you change in a science experiment versus the things that stay the same. So for this particular activity, we have some cups, two different sizes. Any size that you have at home is perfect. The plastic cups work best because we're going to talk about sound as well. We've got some twine, scissors, paper towels, paper clips, construction paper, and some water. So this is a great way to talk about science as well as some basic intro on poultry or chickens. Most people don't know that there's many types of chickens, including our Cochin chickens, our Leghorn chickens, and our Silkie chickens, just to name a few. So we all eat chicken most of the time. They're all have eaten eggs, so this is where our eggs come from. So now let's make our chicken. So I'm going to pick one of our cups. I'm going to use the red Solo cup. I'm going to use a paper clip that I've unbent a little bit to create a pointed end. I'm going to pierce the bottom of our Solo cup with the pointed end. And in case it's not quite big enough to fit your string, you can always use a pair of scissors to go in and make it a little bit bigger. Just be careful. We want to make sure that we're just poking the cup and not our hands. The next thing we're going to do is take our string or our twine and we're going to tie a paper clip to one end and we're going to feed the non-tied end into our cup. Now this one is frayed a little bit, so I'm going to just give it a quick snip so it's easier to feed. And now we're going to go through the bottom. And I find it's a little easier if we pull it from inside, and then it'll sit nice and flush against the bottom of our cup. To give it a little extra support, I like to add a piece of tape just to make sure it's on there nice and sturdy. So now we have our string on our cup. Now we're going to add another variable, which is our paper towel. Just an ordinary paper towel cut up into a small piece, totally dry. And we're going to go into the cup so it echoes that sound that it makes. And I want you guys to listen carefully as to the sound that the paper towel makes once we kind of give it some quick kind of tugs on the string. So we hear some sound. Doesn't really sound like much of anything special, but we do get a little bit of an echo. We'll try it again. Right? So now we're going to add one additional variable. So let's see what actually happens once we wet our paper towel a little bit. Now you just want it damp. You don't want it dripping. So just enough so it's nice and wet all the way around. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to go into our cup so we can hear that echo. And we're going to give it a few quick tugs, and let's see what we hear. Sounds a little different, doesn't it? So let's do it again. Let's see, let's listen closely to that change in that sound. Sounds a little more like a chicken that time, doesn't it? So what do we think the variable that we changed is with the sound? Is it the paper towel? Is it the water? Is it the string? Which one of these variables are making the sound? So how do we test this? My hypothesis, or my guess of what's going to happen, is I think the wet paper towel is what's contributing to the sound. So let's try it. We know that our wet paper towel makes that clucking sound. Let's try it with a dry paper towel and see what happens. So the first time we used the dry paper towel, we didn't get the clucking sound. We did with the wet paper towel, and now, again, with the dry paper towel, we've got the clucking sound. So maybe it's not the paper towel. What do you think is causing the sound? Let us know in the comment section. And if you replicate this at home, it's a lot of fun to do it this way. But if you've got some extra construction paper, some tape, a fun Sharpie, you can really make your chicken your own. So I've made a couple. of fancy clucking chickens using both types of our cups. This one has just a simple beak, which I used from some construction paper, a comb, which is probably the wrong way, and he's got some eyes. And then we've got my fancy chicken here, who's got some wings, a nice comb, and I felt like he really needed some eyebrows. So he's got some eyebrows too. They all work the same way. It's a great trick. It's a great fun science experiment that you can share with your friends, your families, your siblings. And we thank you for watching, and we'd love to hear about your clucking chickens. Thanks.